Welcome back to the Watch It, Cook It kitchen. Today, we're gonna cook a tri-tip. We're gonna make this flavorful, tender, and moist. As we all know, the tri-tip comes from the part of the cow between the bit that kind of, that bit there, and the other bit, not at the back, but down. I don't know where it comes from. It doesn't really matter to the dish we're doing today. This is so simple, but so impressive because we have a little flavoring enhancement that just makes all the difference. I'm gonna guess you haven't tried this mix of flavors. It's pretty unique, but it works particularly well on this cut. So we're gonna put this into the oven after we've flavored it up. You wanna bring it up to room temperature before you start working with it. It will cook so much more evenly that way. We wanna select a tri-tip that has as much marbling, as much fat marbling as you can find in the store. This one was pretty good. It's marbled throughout. It has even a little fat content on this side and more fat content on this side. So we're gonna actually put this side up in the oven so the fat falls into the meat. Fat is flavor, color is flavor, everything's flavor. Let's take a look at the ingredients for today. Real simple. You have a little bit, a tiny bit, it's all I got left, of peanut oil. We have some crushed garlic, good old salt, good old pepper. We're going to use a stock or bouillon cube. I like thyme. And the secret for today, English mustard. You can substitute American mustard or probably any kind of mustard, but the English mustard gives it that special piquant, that special bite that really works in this one. Before we get ahead of ourselves and go rambling off at high speed into the future, let's dry our meat. Just a gentle pat is all that's needed. We're putting this into the oven in dry heat, and that dry heat, when it hits moisture, tends to steam the food rather than roast it. And that looks pretty good, pretty dry to me, so we can go ahead and prepare our rub. First thing we're going to do is take this little stock cube here and break it up just a little bit into a dish, add the garlic, just a little hint of salt because the stock cube is salty. You don't want to over-salt this. You will ruin it. Here's thyme. Who doesn't need thyme? And looky here, a good dollop of English mustard. Plenty goes in there. Then to emulsify. Have you emulsified recently? You really should. It's good for you. So to emulsify, we're going to use this peanut oil, and then simply we're going to use our finger because it's a great utensil. One of the first designed, actually, and has been used all over the world successfully for doing all kinds of things. You see, we're just mixing this up. And make sure it's very well mixed. We don't want chunks of anything in here. We want a smooth blend, and it can take a while. I think this is about as smooth as I'm going to get it, and it looks great to me. All we're going to do is spread this evenly over the meat here, both sides and on the edges. A nice coating. Goodness, this just looks nice as well. All those little pieces of thyme that are showing through. Same on this side. I'm getting the edges too. We don't want any of this that did not get the treatment. Let's just make sure we get this end, this side, and turn it over again to make sure. Just a little bit left. And that's it. As simple as that. No need to marinate for hours on end. You could leave it for half an hour if you want. Some of the flavors will get into the meat a little bit better. I've tried it both ways, and yes, I can tell a little bit of a difference, but if you're in a rush, then just leave it at this stage, bung it in the oven, and Bob's your uncle. Do you have Is Bob your uncle? Here, sizzling away, is a cast iron skillet that I've had in the oven at 400 degrees. It's warmed up nicely. It's at 400. We're just going to drop the meat in. It's sizzling nicely. It looks beautiful. It smells amazing. All that's left to do is to stick it in the oven. We got the oven at 400. We're going to do this probably for 25 minutes and then check it. We want a temperature somewhere around 145, 150, I like. You can look at those temperatures. If you like it extra rare, drop that temperature down, Google it, see what it says. Everybody's got an opinion. If you like it well done, just go a little bit higher. Don't go too high. It's going to be tough. I'm not going to waste any more time. Let's throw it in. See you there. Okay, so it's been about actually close to 30 minutes. Let's check the internal temperature with a little thermometer, see how it's heating up. Probably going to need a little more time, but let's see. Who knows? Looking nice and brown on the top. I'm going to stick this thermometer into about the thickest part of the meat, about halfway down, and see what we're doing. Oh yeah, we need plenty more time on this. It's only around about 95 degrees, so you never know. This is a slightly larger cut than I'm used to cooking when I do this dish. So we're just going to put it back in the oven. I'm going to leave it another 25 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes, check it once again, and we'll be ready when the temperature is perfect. See you then. So all in all, we've been about 45, 50 minutes, I think. So let's check it again, see if that's closer to our desired temperature. Oh yeah, I think we're right there. Now that we take it out of the oven, we're gonna let it rest and the temperature will even out a little bit. You must let it rest. 15, 20, 25 minutes actually, let it rest. Let's take it over to the cutting board, show you what's next. Here it is, that beautiful tri-tip, beautifully roasted, and I don't know if you can hear that, but it's crispy on top. So we're going to let it rest, as we mentioned. I'm going to just put a very loose tent of foil over the top and leave it now for 15 to 20 minutes before we come back and slice it. Can't wait. Oh, right, it's been about 15 minutes. I cannot wait any longer. Let's take off the foil and take a look. Looks pretty much the same as it did before the rest, but what's happened that's different is the internal workings. Now, what I should have mentioned earlier is before you coat and cook this cut of meat, look at which way the grain of the meat runs, because you want to carve this across the grain, not with the grain. With the grain will make it tougher, across will make it tender. I did look at it, but I didn't mention it to you guys. However, I know that the grain kind of changed around, but it's running kind of this way across, and then it turns this way. So we might be tempted just to cut like this. That's not going to work because it's going to make this cut tough. What I'm going to do, first of all, we're just going to cut this section here down the middle so we have something that's a little easier to deal with. But look at this interior here. Look at how beautiful this is now. Medium rare, just perfect for this cut. Just going to be super. And then, because the grain is running this way, then we got to be careful to cut across. So we're going to kind of go this way. And we're going to just make some nice cuts. Let's move this piece out of the way. This way across the grain. And we can now see how beautiful this is, how juicy this is. When it comes to the flavoring, when it comes to the mustard, please bear in mind, if you're not used to English mustard, which is very strong, has a unique flavor, then don't use it. Use American mustard, use a sweet mustard, use something that's to your taste, because you may not like English mustard. If you do, then certainly this is the way to use it in this dish. So there we go. Oh, and by the way, if you think this is decent, this little brief video that's going to change your life, please subscribe, hit that bell so you know when the next video is up. We're going to be releasing lots more interesting, tasty, fun food to cook in the future. So make sure, subscribe, hit that bell so you don't miss out. In the meantime, let's just use our fingers here, pick up a piece of this beautifully cooked meat and give it a try, see what we think. Oh, yeah. Yep. That is what it's all about. I love the English mustard flavor that comes through, the garlic, the thyme, everything is just flavored perfectly, but it's so juicy, it's so soft, it's incredible. Please give it a try. Remember, you are always welcome right here in the kitchen. We'll see you next time.